be together and um, and just celebrate all the work that we've done together. Um, Obviously, it's been a very challenging year for everybody, but there's also a lot to celebrate. And I know for me personally, I always feel a little bit more. I always feel more hopeful after spending time with other Mothers Out Front members, whether it's like talking one-on-one with a chapter leader or joining a team call. I'm just always like always inspired by the fact that like no matter how many bad things are happening, you all just keep showing up and you do so with such like determination and also kindness and compassion for each other. And we've also seen so many new faces join us this year, so it's very exciting. And so we have a lot to be thankful for and celebrate to be with you all tonight. So I'll go on to the agenda. So we'll be doing introductions just in the chat for the beginning, and then we'll have a chance to chat more out loud later. We'll be doing some sharing of celebrations from the past year. So we're going to do talk about some things that we've been involved with at a national level and state level campaigns, just to start off, and then we'll get a chance for everyone to share more local work that you've been involved in. We'll introduce a new program that we're starting called Mothers Out Front Action, and then we'll get to share a thank you video from the staff at Mothers Out Front to all of you, our members, and then we're going to end things with a fun raffle. So next slide, please. So just for the introductions, if you could put your name in the chat as well as your preferred pronouns, and if you could mention your location, and if you're affiliated with a chapter or team, if you could just mention that as well. And we'll just take a moment to do that now. Great. Thanks, everyone. And you could keep doing that. We'll keep an eye on the chat. It's great to see people from all different chapters getting involved and being here tonight. And we can move on to the next slide. Okay, so to kick off our celebrations of the past year, I'm going to turn it over to Bella.
Hi everyone. So nice to see so many familiar faces. Hi Martha, I see you waving. Um, so this year we ran three leadership academies, a bit different than we have in the past. In the past we did 8 month length of one cohort, and this year we tried a new model of doing a weekend long intensive, two virtuals and one in person. And we love the new way that we did it this year. We're excited to try that again next year. We had about 60 people go through our Leadership Academy this year. A few I see in the crowd tonight. It was just an amazing experience that we got to have together, especially the in-person one that we had in November in Virginia. That's all the photos you can see here. It was really just a magical time for us to be in a room of so many like-minded mothers and caregivers and others, and really kind of refuel our strength, and our power in building this movement. So thank you all so much for being a part of it. If you haven't gone through Leadership Academy, look out for next year. If you have, let others know that we'll be having more cohorts next year. Thanks so much.
Great. Thank you, Bella. Yeah, I got to be there at the in-person one too. It was so cool to be with everyone in person and to see so many new leaders join. So I'm going to share about some of the work we've done in Virginia this past year. This was Mothers Out Front was part of a coalition that was fighting to stop a gas po gas-powered peaker plant from being constructed, and this resulted in a really strong turnout of people power, and that a result of a lot of activities, door-to-door canvassing, phone banking, getting people together to send in comments to the state agencies. This is a really important climate justice issue in terms of the areas that were being impacted by this proposed peaker plant. And it was really exciting to see how many people in the hundreds who came out to testify and give comments. Unfortunately, the agency did not rule in our favor. They chose the energy company's argument, but it's not over. And I think that the amount of power that's been built will have lasting effects, and there's going to be a new strategy moving forward that all of that support that has been built can be channeled into. So there's still hope for the future there. And it was great to see so many new people get involved. Next slide. So this is a similar type of work that was done in New York. This was a proposed pipeline expansion of an existing pipeline that would go through Westchester County in New York. And I see Sarah Main is here. She's a leader of the Southern Westchester, New York team. Sarah, do you want to jump off mute and share a little bit about working on this campaign?
Um, this was like my first time really participating in organizing a march and a rally. So we were working with a coalition of other groups in Westchester to combat this issue of this pipeline expansion. And this little piece of it was successful, right, Sarah? We did manage, they're not expanding the pipeline across the Hudson into this area where they said they were going to, um, which was really amazing. But then also right on the heels of that, our governor approved pipelines elsewhere in the state. So just like the other one, the fight continues. But this was great. It was a great day. Um, there were tons of kids. We had lots of speakers. It was an amazing location. So we had lots of great photographs. We got media coverage, which was really positive and really did raise the profile of the issue in the state. So it was really successful and it was good. It was fun to participate.
Great. Thanks for sharing it. And yeah, and you and your team like put so much work into it. And it was also a collaborative effort with some other teams in
And
Westchester.
I made a speech, my
And
first
Sarah
speech
made a
ever.
speech. That's right. Yeah, Sarah spoke at the rally for part of the press conference portion of it, and it was great. And it was right along the Hudson River. It was a beautiful setting, and like Sarah said, like really exciting to see such a good turnout of families. And there were other activities as part of this campaign, and this was also done in coalition with other organizations. So our different chapters got their town boards to pass resolutions in opposition to the pipeline expansion. We also did a social media day of action where we had people holding signs, taking pictures, and posting it on social media. Um, and so I think it's just the fact that we had a victory, even though not everything has gone our way, shows that coming out really strong in coalition with other groups and taking lots of different tactics really helped raise awareness on the issue and get media attention and like really scare away the developer from trying to do work in that area. So it was really exciting to see. Next slide. And this is also some work in New York that our multiple New York chapters were involved in, including Sarah's. This was state policy that we've been fighting for a few years now, called the New York Heat Act, which would essentially tackle different legislative obstacles to transitioning off gas. And so after a few years working on this, we were able to get one key pillar of the New York Heat Act adopted by the state legislature, which is a repeal of the 100-foot rule. And this would basically end an outdated subsidy that we all have to pay for new gas hookups if they're within 100 feet of a gas service line. So this was a huge victory for our teams, for the other organizations in the coalition that we're a part of. And here you see pictures of the different actions that were a part of that effort. We had teams meeting with their local legislators in their districts. We went up to Albany, and multiple teams are seen there. Um, and we had a press conference in Northern Westchester, and that's one of our member leaders, Christina, speaking at the press conference. And Sarah's team held an event at a brewery, and that's the picture there. So lots of different tactics again to raise awareness on the issue. And now we just have to hope that the governor signs the bill or having a rally in Albany this Thursday to hopefully achieve that. Next slide. Great. And I think so. Now we're going to turn to the Massachusetts state campaign. And Susan, are you on the call? I think you
Yep,
are.
I'm
Okay,
here.
great.
I'm here. Yeah, so we have been super busy. I'm one of the campaign co-coordinators, so I'm going to speak to a couple of the um, we have three arms to our campaign. One is around the opposition to any expansion of large pipelines, similar to what other states have been working on. One is around neighborhood electrification, and the third is, really interconnected. It's legislation related to a lot of those different campaigns. So among our activities, we've been working on the pipeline expansion with our EJ community partners. We worked to rally a lot of people to attend an open house, both in person and virtually, in Springfield to oppose an Eversource pipeline that is they've been trying to get through since 2018, and it keeps coming back one more time. And now with Trump sort of encouraging all these utilities to go wild, and so there was a huge turnout. Clearly, nobody was in support of the pipeline, and we followed up with a great turnout at a legislative hearing around a pipeline expansion bill that would prevent any new large pipelines within 5 miles of EJ communities. And huge turnout with, again, in coalition with others, overflow crowd, and it happened to coincide with the announcement of a bill, by a sort of surprise sneak attack by the chair of one of the key committees in the legislature that tried to sneak a bill that would roll back our climate goals and give the utilities a lot of goodies for, extra points right before the Thanksgiving holiday. And that coincided with that hearing. So people were just up in arms, and we were calling every legislator multiple times. We heard that the legislators had never gotten so many calls about any bill. So it was, and for the moment, the bill is stalled. So, a victory, but only till the next act. But we're meeting with legislators now to sort of strategize for what may come in January. And then finally, the neighborhood electrification is sort of on the much more local level. Local chapters are developing strategies to engage local municipal leaders and neighbors to come up with a way to assert their power in the face of utilities digging up our streets and installing millions and millions of dollars worth of pipes that we expect will be obsolete within another decade or two. So the goal is to through legislation, get municipalities to have more power to oppose these sort of bills and propose alternatives, and work towards getting neighborhoods engaged in retiring gas and getting onto either geothermal networks or other sorts of electrification. So it's all a work in progress, but we're being successful in getting a lot of municipal leaders to see that, oh, we could have some more say over this. So it's good work.
Thank you, Susan. That's so amazing. All this, like, such an ambitious campaign and so multifaceted that you're taking on, that the Massachusetts chapters have taken on. And yeah, it's just such a good illustration of like you have to fight the bad stuff that keeps coming back and also, show this pathway to a better future and provide those solutions, which is like the long game. And it's not going to be like a quick fix, but you have to like lay the groundwork and build awareness and then and get that local legislative support. Um, so yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's such great work being done. And I don't think Bobby is here yet. I think she's joining a bit later. She was going to share about our sustainable schools, resilient communities. So we'll move to Linnea, who's going to share about some national program and actions that we've been doing.
Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, so I know many folks on the call were part of the things I'm going to talk about today. So let us know in the chat if you see something on here that you attended. We did two national action hours this year. The first was in June around calling legislators in Congress around Trump's one big dangerous bill. That was a very well attended action hour. And then in August, we had a national action. The EPA held public hearings considering repealing the endangerment finding, which would have pretty catastrophic impacts on our environment. And we had moms from across our network show up to that public hearing to give live testimony. You can see a picture here. On the far left of the screen, that's Abby, one of our moms in Virginia, giving testimony. And then in September, we followed up on that action by holding another action hour where we submitted written comments to the EPA on the endangerment finding. So I know some of the folks on this call tonight were that action hour as well. We also had other trainings this year. In addition to Leadership Academy, we held a training for trainers in Nashville in the spring, and then a coalition training with other mom-led organizations called Organizing Moms for Power. And that was in person in Ohio. And that was moms from all across the country from many different organizations coming together to really think, what's our role in this moment as parents and caregivers in the face of all of the things we're in the face of, from climate to rising authoritarianism. We also held a bunch of online trainings this year. Over the summer, we held how to plan a campaign and how to plan an action. We revamped our whole Every Action database setup, and we held a training on that. And then just a couple of weeks ago, we had our first new team orientation for moms and caregivers who want to start new Mothers Out Front chapters. So we saw a lot of you there as well. Great. And I will pass it to Sarah. Remind me who's next.
Great, thank you. So now we're turning over to Liz actually to share some communications updates.
Hi, y'all. So really exciting things that happen in this arena this year. We took on a pretty ambitious project. We redesigned and relaunched the Mothers Out Front website in April, and that's all thanks to you, our members. Your feedback, your patience and everything really helped us create a new and improved website that we are continuing to tweak to make the best that we can. So as always, if you ever have feedback, please never hesitate to send it to comms@mothersoutfront.org. We're always happy to hear feedback on the website. We also launched team landing pages that you can edit and update and use as a resource. I want to shout out, we had tremendous support from the Massachusetts comms team. Special shout out to Chandray for putting on a training for Massachusetts folks. It's been incredible. And as of now, we've rolled out 21 landing pages since June, which is great. So great trajectory. We're still waiting for a few more to roll in, but otherwise it's been really exciting. So was someone else going to hop in and speak on
I was just going to
this?
take 30
Okay,
seconds to
please do.
actually,
Yes, please do.
first of all, right back at you, Liz. I told Liz already this, but I've launched websites before, but I've never worked with someone as detail-oriented, flexible, organized as Liz and national comms in this national comms team in general. So excited to continue working with you all. Also, this our Massachusetts comms team, particularly Suzanne, who's here, Abby, who helped launch a bunch of the pages, but also all of the teams who submitted content, who some of them were first time Canva users, some of them were first time Google Docs users. They still got it done. And so it's really touching. That's it. Oh, but actually before I go, these screenshots, one of them is from the Massachusetts like and other states local chapters pages. And I have to say that this, because of all of the great links on this page and keywords, it shows up very highly in Google search. Yay. We'll talk maybe about how to capture some of those metrics going forward. But anyway, just wanted to point that out. And then this is a picture of one of the landing pages that we have. So hopefully all of the other links, looking at you, California, can go live soon too. That's absolutely it.
Thank you. And I love that challenge you throw out to all the other chapters. That's awesome. And thank you. It's such a great collaboration. And all the learning and work that went on among the chapters to get that done. Thanks so much for sharing that. It's really cool to hear about. And also a great segue for an activity we're going to do next. You spoke about first-time Canva users. Um, we wanted to take a t time tonight for everyone to get a chance to share. Um, anything from this past year that has been inspiring or meaningful in relation to your work with Mothers Out Front, whether you're part of a chapter or just joining. So we set up a Canvas slide that we're all going to add post-its to, and it looks like this. And you can answer any of these questions that are in the middle. It could be an action you took, a training you took, a new relationship you formed with someone in Mothers Out Front. And I'm going to put the link in the chat that will give you access to that slide. And you will be able to open that up and you'll see there's one, you could take some of the empty post-its and just start typing, or you could also copy and make it your own and start typing in it. And if anyone has trouble doing this, it's totally fine. You can also just put your answer in the chat and one of us will add it to a sticky note for you. We just thought it'd be fun to have sort of a visual representation of all the different types of things people have done this year that have been meaningful. So we'll take the next several minutes to do that. And if anyone has questions, please just shout out. That's totally fine.
Can't hear anyone talking.
No one's talking at the moment. We're just taking time to add our own thoughts to the post-it notes that you're seeing on the screen. And if you have any trouble adding a post-it note, you can also just put your comment in the chat and we can paste it in. Great. It's so awesome to read just the variety of highlights that everyone is entering. And maybe we'll just give it one more minute if anyone's still typing. And Liz, are you copying from the chat or do you need help doing that?
I am copying as fast as I can.
Okay, no, I can help you.
Okay.
Okay, well, while we finish adding some of those in, um, would anyone like to share out loud and elaborate a little bit on what you put in the post-its? And I'm wondering, I think that was Dana, you and I had spoken before this call. Would you want to come off mute and share a little bit more?
Hi. Yeah, so I just a little bit of information. I just joined the West Roxbury chapter in June when I moved, and it was really a lot of fun doing the Sunday event, especially since Bill McKibben came around this within weeks of that, and just getting the whole experience, and to have Mothers Out Front called out, I believe, 3 times in his presentation. We were like, but it was just exciting to see how, of all things, the religious groups are actually putting solar onto their buildings and trying to help more people use it. So that was a learning experience for me. Of climate action calls, I mean, I can't call out one because then I would be ignoring the rest of them. They've been amazing, and there's been so much legislative goodness coming out of them. So that's been awesome. And then, little plug, I guess, can't help my marketing self, but we redid our compost action guide. It's specifically for Massachusetts, but it's just been great to see other groups use it and realize that, you know, if we connect more internally, we can get so much more use out of all of the knowledge and the things that we do together because there's so many amazing women, and it's given me the opportunity to meet lots of other women from the other groups who are like, "Oh, hey, we heard you had this."
Thanks for sharing. That's so cool. I didn't get a chance to look at it closely yet, but it looked so great and so helpful for probably any chapter, even if you're not in Massachusetts. I imagine a lot of it would be applicable. Um,
The examples are Massachusetts, but yeah, I mean, you know, garbage is garbage, right? Or compost is
yeah,
compost, rather.
right. No, I know, and that's like a definitely an area of interest for a lot of our teams, I think, especially for those interested in working in schools. I think that's also been like an area where people want to dig in, so to speak, to getting their schools to reduce waste and start composting more. Um,
We've
and
also been able to give a lot of presentations at partner events where there are kids involved, and kids just love it. I mean, you give them a bunch of dirt with some spoons and a worm and a magnifying glass, and you are set for hours.
that is so true. And I think I saw a photo of Suzanne dressed as a worm. That was pretty cool.
Suzanne's an amazing worm as well as an amazing woman normally.
Right.
And one of our members made that worm costume. So, big shout out to her. It's like, and people are always borrowing it. Uh,
That's amazing. That's quite a talent to have on the team.
yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to with my eyesight and also the not seeing everyone's name in the post-its, but let's see. Would Sandy, would you like to come off mute and share a little bit?
Sure, thanks, Sarah. So, I love hearing about the composting uh, project. In Dutchess County, we're fighting an incinerator. Dutchess County burns its garbage, and New York State in the 80s, they're called waste to energy facilities, which is kind of a joke. But in the 80s, the state of New York incentivized the building of incinerators. So, of the only 64 left in the United States, 10 are in New York. And it's bad. They're more polluting when you look at the sort of whole waste stream. Incinerators are more polluting than landfilling, which is not to say that we're supporting landfilling as the alternative. What we're looking at is a zero waste model of dealing with our garbage. So composting is the most effective strategy. It's really the number one strategy because you remove the organics and you end up with something that's really helpful to people, to our farmland. And yes, kids love being involved in the process. But our campaign, we managed to get funds allocated for a study in Dutchess County on waste management, reduction, and diversion. And so now this is approaching year 3 of the campaign. The study itself has some serious weaknesses. So now we're in the position of needing to speak specifically to the folks in the county who are talking with the consultant. It's exciting to kind of learn who the players are and to be in the room with people, and we'll see over time how successful we are. But I'm feeling optimistic and energized, in part because after I think it's 20, nearly 20 years, we have a Democratic majority in our county legislature for the first time in about 20 years. So we'll see if we can maintain that, and if that might help us to move the needle a little bit towards eventually closing this incinerator and moving to a more sustainable zero waste model.
Great. Thanks, Sandy. And I feel like that you kind of like you were a little humble about the victory you had in your county legislature. It was a huge win that they got their Republican-controlled county legislature to include in the budget funding for this initiative, even though it wasn't to close the incinerator, it was to reduce waste. And they had, yeah, they showed a lot of power in doing that and have built great relationships also, like on all sides. So that was really impressive.
Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, in the end, this time last year, it was a unanimous vote of the legislature to award the funds for the study. So, yeah.
That's great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Does anyone else want to share a little bit more, brag if you want, or just share what you're working on or what has been exciting for you this year? I see some comments about going to the State House. Does anyone want to share about that in Massachusetts? Martha? Oh, just you're on mute.
I actually was going to say something else, but I'll start by talking about I have been to a couple of hearings at the State House, and it is very inspiring to go with all the other people from Mothers Out Front and other climate organizations. There's a lot of coalitions in Massachusetts as well, but Mothers Out Front is very well organized and gives us the talking points we need and all that. And so it is exciting to go and be with our colleagues, which and I also wanted to say that Sandy's comment about our local action being an antidote to the national crisis is something that really it resonates with me a lot. And my comment is just how grateful I am that I joined this organization, Mothers Out Front, with all these amazing, brilliant women who are doing such important work, and that I can work together with them. And people are caring and take care of each other. And my experience at the training for trainers in Nashville was similar with all these amazing people. I'm just really grateful, and it does help me survive what's going on nationally, to have this group and these experiences. So thanks to everybody.
Yeah, no, thanks for sharing that. I've seen other comments like that about I think Chandra, you said meeting someone for the first time in person, that you'd only been online before, and just having these new connections is like it also feels like one of the most gratifying and rewarding parts of it, and really keeps us engaged, is each other. Does anyone else want to share?
I wanted to say I fully agree with Martha. I'm in Massachusetts and I'm close, fairly close community to Boston. So I go to a lot of the rallies and the things at the State House, and we sing songs before we go to hearings, and and it does feel really good to be in the group with the other Mothers Out Front people, and it is very organized, and we have, like she said, we have talking points to write testimonies and talk or write testimonies, and we feel really good being in a group there, and we've made good impression, and we work good with our allies, and you feel like you're doing a lot. It's a really great feeling.
Thanks, Carol. Lori, I see now wants to move to Massachusetts after hearing all this, but but we can have that community in lots of states. Um, so I think now we can move on. Thanks all so much for participating in this and trying something new with us, creating this visual, which I think is beautiful. Just seeing all the different comments and it's great to hear from everyone sharing. So I'm going to turn it over to Linnea again.
Great. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen so we can see each other. And we're gonna do just a little bit of looking ahead to next year. So it's been so exciting and inspiring to hear and see so much of the work that we've done this year all across the country. And as it's been referenced a few times tonight, it's a really, really hard time. It's been a really hard year in our country and in the world. We've watched our institutions be gutted. We're watching our communities be increasingly targeted by ICE and law enforcement. And the attacks on our safety, health, and dignity are coming from so many different directions that it's genuinely difficult to keep track of them all. And we know that this work is important. And in addition to building the world we need, it's giving us the community and the nourishment we need to keep moving forward. And the world is moving quickly. The stakes for the future are changing quickly, and we need to be adapting along with them. So we're really excited to share that we are launching a new organization in the coming months. It's called Mothers Out Front Action, and it's going to be a sister organization that is set up as a 501(c)(4). So this organization will have access to a whole new set of tools to help us meet the moment that we're in and the urgency we're up against. So, Mothers Out Front is a C3, Mothers Out Front Action is a C4, and C4s have the ability to do unlimited lobbying and to speak more explicitly and directly about the political stakes that we're in, which feels increasingly urgent and necessary right now, so that we can keep building the powerful movement of moms and caregivers who can demand and win the future that we need and deserve. So we'll have so much more to share in the coming months and lots of opportunities for you to learn about the work of Mothers Out Front Action and be part of it. But we wanted to start with sharing the news with all of you tonight. And got a little bit more to preview about 2026, and I'm gonna hand it over to Jenny.
Yeah, and for folks who are like C3, C4, what does this mean? It's like the IRS codes for how organizations are established. Some people use it as shorthand for political and non-political. And so Mothers Out Front Action will be building on the work that Mothers Out Front has been doing for more than a decade, passing policy and holding leaders accountable at the state and local level. But we also see that we're in a really high stakes moment for our children's health and future, and we don't want to leave any power on the table in our work for our children's future. So it's an interesting moment for parent organizing because we also see that parents all over this country are looking for a vehicle to organize for their kids' health and safety on a really broad range of issues, from toxics to online safety and more. And unfortunately, we also see that many of them are being absorbed into other movements, into the MAHA movement. And it is speaking clearly to that problem, but its leaders are not necessarily delivering solutions that are the best for our kids. And so in the process, they're also starting to break down trust in science and institutions that are really critical for public health and climate stability. And we just see that as being like right out of the climate denial handbook. And so over the next year, we're going to be spending some time connecting with pediatricians, scientists, environmental health advocates, and parents' organizations to really plan on how we can work together to give parents better options for how we can protect our kids. And so we wanted to just give you a little heads up, like we're starting these conversations and want to find ways to support parents to really advocate for their children's health. And so stay tuned in 2026 for more conversations and details on how Mothers Out Front Action will create new pathways to grow our movement of moms and work to create conditions for all children to have healthy places to live, learn, and play, which is our mission. Just a preview. Now I think I'm going to hand it back to Linnea for a video.
Yes, I'm going to put my screen back up because many of us on staff and Julie, our incredible member of our comms team, helped us put together this video that we made. Just to really, we've said thank you tonight, but not everyone on staff could be here tonight, and so we wanted everyone to really get a chance to wish you all well and to say thanks. So I'm gonna hit play.
As we wrap up another incredible year of work together,
all of us at Mothers Out Front want to say
thank you.
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 Thank you. Thank you for showing up for your communities,
for your loved ones,
and for each other.
This year, you organized, spoke out, and took bold action to protect the people and places you love.
You called out the EPA for putting our environmental protections at risk.
You advocated for the policies we need to build a just energy future.
You pushed decision makers to stop harmful pipelines.
You moved us forward, helping our schools transition to clean energy.
You launched new teams, grew campaigns, and took brave steps into leadership.
You mobilized and showed what's possible when moms and caregivers come together.
From national actions to local victories, your work adds up.
And we're so excited to keep building a more resilient future for the next generation together.
From all of us at Mothers Out Front, thank you.
Here's to another year of growing caregiver power.
Thank you all so much. We are coming up on the end of our hour together, but we are not quite done. And I'm going to hand it back over to Liz for our final activity of the night.
Hi, y'all. Just give me one moment. I'm going to share my screen with you so you can all see the beautiful wheel we have here. Okay, let me put it in full screen. Okay, can you all see the wheel okay? Okay, perfect. Okay, so we have everyone on this list that's been part of the celebration tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and spin the wheel.
Maybe we should set up, I don't know, that this is a raffle. I don't know if you, in case
Oh,
I forgot from the beginning.
The reason
People might
for
be
the
wondering
wheel.
what's
Yeah,
happening
go
with the
ahead,
wheel.
Sarah.
So this will be a good thing if it lands on your name. So we were, so we thought it'd be fun to just end the evening with a couple of little giveaways. The first one that we'll do now is going to be for a beautiful Mothers Out Front branded water bottle. Take it away,
Thank you
Liz.
so much, Sarah. Context is everything. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click it.
Woo!
Yay!
Great, congrats, Dana. Very exciting.
Thank you.
So if I'm going to put my email address in the chat. So if you just email me your address and so on, so we'll make sure we get that to you. And if I could type my email address, there we go. And then so our second item, something a little different. I don't know if any of you are familiar with this, but this is a box of dish detergent that comes in compostable wax pods. So what you do is you get a reusable dish soap bottle, you crack this open, you squeeze the gel that's inside, that's all plant-based, into the bottle, add hot water, shake it up, and you've got a month's worth of dish soap to use. And then you throw this in the compost and recycle the box. And there you go. So take it away, Liz.
Awesome. Thank you, Sarah. Okay, we'll go ahead and spin it again. Are you all seeing this ad? Okay, that's gone. Okay. Sorry about that.
Yay, Mina.
Wonderful.
Great. Well, congrats to both of you. And thank you to everyone for participating tonight and just choosing to spend your evening with us. We really appreciate it. And it's always so good to see everyone. And we could just show the last slide, which is just one more photo collage, because I love seeing all of your photos that you send. And also just a reminder if the I think Lena has to share her screen for the photo collage. Um, but just a reminder that it was great to hear some of your stories tonight, and but we don't always know everything that's going on. So just always send your stories to us to story@mothersoutfront.org, so that we can share your photos, share your stories, whether it's community events or campaign launches or campaign events. We want to hear about it all. And there's our last little photo collage. And thank you so much. I hope everyone has a great evening and great holidays.
Thank you for all your work. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Bye. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Good night.
Good night.
And this was lovely. Thanks.
You.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. All right.